person tries to attack you, you're gonna try to attack them back.
As a woman, I'm already vulnerable and they already see me as a weakness. So whatever I can do to protect myself is what I'm gonna do.
You think killing or stabbing someone is what is the right
thing? Yes, if that's my only option, I will kill you.
Let's walk cleverly on the beat.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the African Millennials. How's everyone doing?
Great.
So I see we have two new faces. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, well, ladies first.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Taiwo Aloba. I'm originally from Nigeria, and I'm a model.
All right, y'all, and I'm Cordero. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm Nigerian and African American.
Nigeria in the house.
That's dope. So we got two new faces, two new opinions. I think today should be pretty good. Yeah. Regis, do you want to see what the questions are?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's go. Okay, the question is, Dear AMS, someone breaks into your home. Will you call the cops or just let them be done and go? Who's more dangerous nowadays?
That's a tough one.
I mean, that's a tricky one. Yeah, because I feel like people usually make that conceptual mistake of thinking that, the cops can resolve everything. I feel like in this specific case, calling the cops is kind of irrelevant, because let's say that you live in, you need to take into account the neighborhood that you're living in. Let's say that if you live in a predominantly white neighborhood, where the cops are more likely gonna come, let's say, a little bit earlier than if you live in a project. So let's say that even if you call the cops, let's say that on average the cops might come in 5 minutes. What can even happen in 5 to 10 minutes? You can get murdered or killed, especially if that person is not really afraid of getting killed, to kill someone who would go into jail. So we really have to take into account that. And personally, me, I felt like I'm not going to put my life in jeopardy or my family's in jeopardy just because of any materialistic thing.
I don't know. It's my house. Like, you're not coming into my house. You're not coming in and taking my stuff that I worked so hard for, regardless. Like, I'm not saying I would necessarily, try to, shoot them or anything, but I'm definitely going to try to protect what's mine. You know what I'm saying?
We live in a democracy. It is the job of the police to protect and serve us. That's why we pay our taxes.
It's their job.
We can go on, we can spend the entire day going on about, why we distrust the police. But at the same time, it's their job. I know I would definitely dial 911 if anyone tries to break into my home. Because I know it's their job to protect me. Whatever happens, but I know I dialed 911.
But how many times?
I'm sorry. Where I come from, I grew up in Lagos. Everyone has machetes.
Exactly.
Under their bed in every corner in the house, because you can't trust the government or the police to protect you. So, it's all man for himself. You protect yourself, But here, there's a system that actually works.
Right.
I know. Yeah. There's some communities that do not trust the police.
Right.
And it's best if you can protect yourself. Fine. That's why we have gun laws. But at the same time, from my own opinion, and to answer this question, I will definitely call the police. There's a system already put in place, and we're meant to call the cops if we feel like we're in danger. It's their job to protect and serve us. We're paying taxes for that, so make use of it. Call the cops if you feel you're in danger.
I know it's your home, it's your, it's your private place that, you're trying to protect yourself. But at the end of the day, I just feel like even before calling the cops, you should think about it. You get it? You just don't pick up a phone and call the cops. Because of what happens now. What if the person, the cops, they don't ask questions anymore. Do you want to just be there and then maybe a person will get shot. What if the person is black? Because now when the cops come to your house, they don't ask questions.
It doesn't matter
they don't
if
ask
it's black
questions.
or not. You,
but at the end of the day,
if the person comes to your house,
it's a material. It's materialistic.
Right, but if they come into your home, they're coming to hurt you. That's gonna be my
maybe let's say
mentality.
to steal a TV, right? You don't know what the person is going through. You don't know if the person
So
has
why
kids.
can't they ask? Why they gotta come into my house?
But at the end of the day, you should consider
So I should consider somebody coming in, breaking my house?
They didn't consider me.
If the cops come,
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can call the cops, but you have to consider, is this worth calling the cops?
When people panic, their first reaction is trying to hurt you.
Right,
If somebody breaks into my house, you don't know. People don't know what you're doing in your home at the time that they want to break into your house. They may think that you're sleeping, even if it's late night. You could be somebody that's up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, but that person doesn't know that. They think you're sleeping. So then they bump into you, they get scared, they may shoot you.
Yes.
If you enter into my home, right, and we collide with each other, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna shoot you. This is my home. You're not gonna survive. You're not gonna make it out.
I have a period.
So if somebody breaks into my home, my first reaction isn't to call the police. My first reaction is to protect myself. I've had encounters with police and they weren't positive. So I don't trust them. I think that what they do is heroic. It takes a strong person to get up every day and put their life at risk. Good for them. But for me personally and how I've been treated by the police, personally, I'm not calling y'all first. I'll handle my own situation at home. Y'all could come, do the paperwork, bring me some Clorox, bring me some bleach, let me clean up the mess, and that's it. But we just had a man last year from Texas, Cordero, where you're from Texas, in his home watching TV. And a cop entered his house thinking it's her house, and what's the first thing she did? Yeah. She shot that man. A female police officer shot this man in his home while he's watching TV.
But here's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. If the cops come to your house,
it is very different. But that's a prime example that when somebody enters your home and they're not expecting to see somebody, the first reaction is to hurt them. That's your first reaction.
But if somebody tries to, that's the question. If somebody tries to, or you hear a noise that somebody's trying to break into your home. I'm in the bedroom, for instance. I feel like somebody's trying to get into my living room. I'm definitely going to dial 911.
Just because you hear somebody's coming to your house, automatically I see that the person is coming to
in the middle of the night, if I'm not expecting anyone and I do not get a phone call or something that somebody's visiting, I would definitely, if I feel like I'm in danger, okay, maybe I should rephrase that. If I feel like I'm in danger, somebody's climbing through my, or something, I would definitely call them.
So here's the thing. I'm really big on boundaries, and I don't invite anybody to my house. So if you're coming in my home without an invite, my first instinct, if I can kill you, I will kill you. So I will definitely call the cops. If someone break into my house and I can kill them, I will definitely take that opportunity to do so, because you have to learn to not do that, and I'm pretty sure you know it's wrong, and you did not consider that coming to my house. And the fact that I'm also a woman too, it's kind of like, it's another reason why I feel like you violating me, and I'm not gonna come off. I don't want to be the victim. Basically, that's basically what I'm saying. I don't want to be the victim. If I can hurt you first, I will definitely take that opportunity. Furthermore, we had our resources here. That's why we pay our taxes, and not every country had that 911 resource to call. So the fact that we have it, we should use it. And every single police officer is not white. There's 51% of freaking police officers in New York are freaking diverse. So why should you assume, well, if they come, they're probably going to be white, they're not going to ask questions, they're going to kill me? No.
But that's always a possibility.
There's a possibility, but it's not always, it does not happen all the time.
Yes. But where do you think that it happens all the time? But it's not always in a home. There's been so many times that police show up and arrest the wrong person. There's been times that people call police and police come on the scene and they arrest them. That's happened to me. That happened to me personally last year.
It does happen, right? But you know what?
So if it does happen, my first reaction, I'm not calling the police first, period. Because last year in May, myself, I was walking home from my house. A man attacked me, stole my phone. I called police, and police came and arrested me and take me to jail. And I go to court every month for that, still to this day.
What?
Still to this day. So imagine that. So that's not
I think in general, I think to cover yourself, you should definitely still call first, but still protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Do both.
If my life is in jeopardy, especially if I'm responsible for other people's life, trust me, you have to kill me before you before you kill my family. Because I felt like me as a man, If I see you, I swear to God, I feel like rationality. No, let me tell you, rationality is kind of out of the window. Because when you're scared, I swear to God, if he kind of point a gun at me, I'm gonna kill this man.
But kill the person.
No, but psychologically.
Hold on,
But you own a gun.
What would you do?
No, I'm gonna do everything. Stab him, whatever it takes.
So if he pointed a gun at you, you're gonna run towards him and stab him?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
You'll be dead.
I won't be dead. No. I think I'm kind of a new strategy. No. I'm gonna be like, okay, you know, like movies.
The Matrix?
No, like movies. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. I will.
They're crazy. You can't.
No,
I will.
If someone breaks into my house, I think I will do whatever I can in order to protect myself and my family, especially if I have kids and wife. I felt like everyone is endowed with the ability to kind of take rational decisions when it comes to protect yourself.
You know that there is the fight or flight syndrome. Some people's first reaction is to run to them and fight. I've seen that.
See, now, if they're pointing a gun, I'm not running at them. I'm gonna hit that mind trick on them. So like, what's wrong?
Exactly.
What's going on?
Coming from St. Ground State, it don't even matter. I'm not even thinking about the police. If somebody breaks into my house, we're going straight for the gun and we shoot you. Calling the cops is an afterthought. I don't care. I watch a lot of TV and I feel like when you shoot somebody and you call the cops beforehand, they try to use all the directions that they give you beforehand, like, okay, well, you should hide or cower down. And if they have more ammo, I guess, because as we are black and they're always trying to take us to jail anyway, they're trying to say, oh, you tried to murder this person? So I guess it's different for me because I'm from Texas and we really don't have these problems, because if somebody's on your property, you can just shoot and kill them and you don't get in trouble. But up here, I definitely wouldn't call the cops, because then it's going to be like, oh, well, where'd this gun come from?
Yeah, that's just Texas. That's not everywhere.
Right. No, but even here in New York, my first reaction is to shoot you.
It should be everywhere.
If you have a gun,
if you own a gun,
if you have a gun,
and if you have rights to actually use it.
Everybody takes.
Because that's a whole other thing, is if you shoot the gun and you don't have right to bear arm, or you don't have the actual license, now you're going to jail as well.
But you're alive.
But you going to jail for
I'm just saying.
I
get you. I'm just saying in general. Like now, as opposed to just having your TV stolen, you're now going to jail in addition to.
I'd rather go to jail for an unlicensed firearm than die for someone breaking in my house to kill me.
That's only
you're not going to go to jail for killing them because you still have the will to kill them. Yeah.
That's only if you charge them. 9 times out of 10, if you don't make it an aggressive situation, they're not going to shoot you.
You don't know that.
No, I'm saying I don't know that. But 9 times out of 10, if you be like, look, take whatever you want, do what you do.
I think you're not really sure what you would do until you're in that situation. Because when I was in that situation and he took my phone, I started fighting him in the street. But that was my first reaction, because a man is putting his hands on me. So my first reaction is, get off of me. Like, you're not thinking when you're in that moment at that time. So you could say whatever you want to say, but at that moment, you don't know what you're going to do until that happens.
But when a thief comes to your house, his main purpose is to steal something.
Yeah. Right? I understand that.
They told you that I'm coming to steal, and then you
but he came to steal. So why would you call the cop for?
I'm calling the cops because they're breaking in. That's illegal to break into somebody's house.
But at the end of the day, you know he came to get something, right? Regardless. So your thing is to protect your family, but you can either hide your family or you can just. I don't think you should just. Either call, because we're calling the cops. Not even calling the cops alone. Even trying to be aggressive towards the person can have the person do something to you. You know what I'm saying? So retaliation. Just leave. I just feel like just leave the person to grab whatever they want. When an intruder comes to your house, there's no point of making a scene for something to happen. Just if you have to, leave your house to the back door, or maybe hide yourself and your kids in the room and then have them take whatever they need to take. And then after that, maybe you can call the cops and assess the situation. But then if you call the cops, they're not going to come. Like, there's been incidents, not intruders though, but I've had incidents where I've called the cops and they never show up. So I don't think calling the cops is the best option. Listen, it's material stuff. Like
Right,
you can get this.
But
Your life is very
regardless, it's
important,
not, you're not gonna be like, oh
Your
my
kid's
God,
life
here.
is very
You
important.
don't know
Come
why
take whatever
they
you want.
came,
Matter of
right?
fact, come back
you.
next week.
You don't know why they came. There's men that break into women's homes to rape them. You don't know why.
Exactly.
It could be a
That's why-
predator, somebody
That's why
that's
you have
stalking
to call the
you.
police.
You don't know why someone is breaking into
But at
your
the end of the
home.
day,
That's why you
how
have to
long
call the
does it really
police.
take for the police to come?
Bottom
And within
line
5 minutes, if
is-
the person wants to rape you, the person will rape you 5 minutes and then leave.
So the first thing you do when someone breaks into your house is shoot
I'm not
them.
gonna call the cops. Somebody.
What
What is a sensible thing to do, Chavis? Like you were explaining different scenarios.
I mean, in all honesty, I think you have to really assess the situation
And the neighborhood.
And I think it's not even the neighborhood. It's like what is right for you at that time,
Psychologically.
and psychologically, and also just understanding like your surroundings. Like you said, if it's a studio or 1-bedroom apartment, where's the door? Can you get out first before you do anything else? Can you have time to go to a closet or a bathroom, close the door, call the cops? Do you have time to go for the gun, or do you have time to go for a knife to protect yourself if it comes to that? You honestly just have to assess the situation and see what's best for you at that time. Like, I mean, we can, like you said, we can all go on different scenarios, but it really depends on at that moment where you are and what is the best option for you and your safety. If someone breaks into my house, the first thing I'm definitely gonna do is assess the situation. I've got to figure out what's the best route for me. If I can go to a bathroom, lock the door, call the police, or if I have to grab something to protect myself, I'm definitely gonna make sure my well-being comes first.
I just feel like in third world country, people don't have those options. I know in Haiti, if you live outside of the city, that's it.
Yeah.
You have to have.
But they don't have 911.
Even if I grew up in Lagos City, like that's like the biggest city in Africa, and you're not even safe. We're scared of the police themselves, you know.
Exactly.
So, you know,
But that's what's happening in America now.
yeah, I know. Like I said earlier, there's so many reasons to distrust the police.
Right.
But I feel like the reasons why you should trust them outweighs the reason why you should distrust them.
Exactly.
Because you have no idea how people live in other countries. You have no idea the privileges we have here.
Right.
So I'm definitely dialing
We have a lot of privileges.
I know, you know, I definitely understand you. We have to assess the situation. If I cannot reach for my phone, you know, I won't put my life in danger. I'll just sit quietly and act like a nice girl. I think I am.
The only thing about calling the police, though, as soon as you call the police, you're no longer in control of the narrative. That's why you got to shoot first, you stab first. If you can kill them,
But
you have time. But you have time.
You're still self-defense. You're still in control.
Because once you call the police, don't hang up your phone. They're going to be listening. They're hearing the tussle. All of a sudden, they're going to be like, well, what was going on here?
And they came for me and I shot them.
Yeah, I don't trust police. I wouldn't put anything past them. I feel like they'll frame you if they can, or they're trying to figure out something, or they're just like, oh, if this situation couldn't have been avoided. I think when it comes down to there had to be, you used deadly force because you feared that your life was in danger, they'll always try to find a way to say, well, were you really in danger? So that's why I would just call the cops last.
Now you have someone to back up your story. If you call and you leave it, you know, on call, and you know whatever happens.
I'm not calling until they're dead.
Right.
I'm not calling
But
until
you
they're
can't
dead.
do that in New York.
But I think if
we're going to be taken away.
of the situation, you can use that.
Yeah,
You can use that
They
in
use it,
self-defense.
they can also use it against you.
But how is that against you?
self-defense?
How are they going to use it against you?
You don't think how they can use it against you?
Nah. Now,
So somebody
when you
broke into
call,
your house and then you kill them, you gonna get arrested for that?
That's self-defense.
Exactly.
if you don't have proof of the phone call, if you don't have proof that there was a tussle or that they threatened you, then you might be able to still go to jail, even if they did break into your house, because you don't have the proof of that call.
That's true.
You don't
But
have
even
the
if I
proof
don't,
of
even
X,
if I'm
Y,
not
and
on
Z.
the phone and I don't call, my proof is that your address is not this address.
Exactly.
You don't belong in my home.
Right.
You're
Still.
not even belong in this building. That alone
Same
is
way
my proof.
the old guy didn't belong to have your phone, but you still went to jail. But
Exactly.
having the physical proof of having that police phone call
911,
is being like,
recording
look,
it.
these are my records.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I tried to go the proper legal route of calling someone, and my life was in danger.
Right.
So I took it in my own hands.
Exactly.
So I know Chavis referenced that he would call the police first so that he could have that audio as proof that this is what's going on in my home. And I understand that. But my proof is the fact that there's someone in my home that doesn't belong here. My proof is that your ID does not have my address on it. My proof is that you most likely don't even belong in this neighborhood. Therefore, when the police come and it's made a fact that you don't belong at this address, at this apartment number, this studio, whatever the case may be, that's my proof. You already don't belong here, so I already have the right to reject you from my home.
The operator on the phone gonna tell you, they're gonna say, don't do anything, hide. And you're gonna tell them I can't hide, and then you're gonna have to drop
I'm gonna
the
leave
phone.
it right there, and I'm not listening to you.
Right.
At that point, I gotta do this for me. I gotta do it for me. At that point,
It's gonna be like, why didn't you listen to the operator?
Baby, because you're not there. So I ain't got time
exactly.
to.
My
I ain't
life
got
is in
time to do
danger. I
that.
don't care what you have to say, because they be like, okay,
Rest
stay
easy on that
calm,
if you want
stay
to.
calm.
Rest easy on that
Okay,
if you
I'm about to
want
die. I'm not staying calm.
You calm all safe over there.
They can say what they want to say.
But in the meantime, is it safe to say that you're letting the robber take whatever they want in the
Oh
meantime?
yeah,
I don't care.
like you said,
Because you
I
can
think you're gonna
have
help
whatever,
you.
right?
Oh, do you want this? Oh yeah, put it in the bag. Yeah.
If that person tries to attack you, you're gonna try to attack them back.
As a woman, I'm already vulnerable, and they already see me as a weakness. So whatever I can do to protect myself is what I'm gonna do.
If my
You
life.
think killing or stabbing someone is what is the right
Yes, if that's my only option, I will kill you.
I don't think Martina can kill. She can kill with her mouth, but I don't think she can kill with a gun. Because it's very, very, like, you're taking a life. And then for you to hold a gun and then be like, oh, I'm killing you, you dying. You have to think about this. Like, you want to create, like, this is going to be big. It's going to be on the news. Your kids, your mommy, like, you, even if you killed an intruder, like, your people will always look at you as a killer. Like, you've killed somebody. Like, she's saying it like it's okay.
No, but because you're not a woman, so you will never see it from our point of view.
I live by myself.
We can train too.
Practice jungle justice. Like, they kill people for breaking into people's homes.
Right.
You know, if maybe hopefully the thief doesn't have a gun or something, or the robber doesn't have a gun, and they, get hold of him, they can burn that person alive without even asking any questions, without going to court, or even trying to, okay, why did you break?
And that's the best way to handle the stuff.
No, you can't be.
Okay, so I know about all that.
There's been cases where intruders get burned and, killed, and then a news will come after that, oh my God, this person has been going through a lot. Maybe he needed to do this to survive that day. Just consider what might be going through his mind for him to come to your house, to take something. Just let him take it and then go in peace, and then you can always replace it.
This country is run by laws. Things have to go, go through
a process.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right or wrong, but it still allows for more of a coexistence than people taking it into their own thoughts of how it should be handled.
Exactly. But I also feel like police officers just have really bad reputation all over the world. Yeah. And I think we can't just sit here and say, okay, well, they're bad people. I'm not even going to count on them, because you putting yourself in danger. Like, if you, like I said, I'm a woman. I don't trust people, and you coming in my home, it's a problem. If I have the opportunity to call the cops on you, I will definitely do that. Yes. And that's the end of the story. So.
But now we're talking about the most efficient thing to do. So what is the most efficient to do at this?
Let them take whatever they want.
Yeah, I think definitely let the intruder take whatever they want. If it seems like they're just coming there for your TV, please take the TV, leave. Let me be safe, and then when they leave, you call the police and you file the report.
Assess and let them take whatever.
Because that's what I'm saying. What about if his intentions?
De-escalate it.
Okay, I'm sorry. What about if his intention were just to steal and go? Now, when you call the police, it will be like, because out of panic, out of fear, sometimes you do things that you don't want to do.
Well, that's why I said
if you call the cops,
don't call it.
And if it's really someone who is not scared to go to jail or is not scared to kill someone, what are you gonna do?
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's why
now things escalate. Now the
you don't call in their face though.
escalated.
But you don't call the cops in their face. You don't see that they're taking stuff. And
It
you
does
sit
not
there.
matter.
I'm
It's
gonna call
after
the
the
cops
fact.
while they're taking stuff.
Obviously, you wouldn't do that.
No,
Like, if I
it's
can
not
go
that.
hide in the closet and make that call, guess what? I'm doing that.
But let's say he's trapped, right? You think he's just gonna say, "Oh, I surrender"?
No, why would he?
He's gonna want to
He's still
keep you
gonna leave.
hostage. No, because
He's gonna leave.
How he's gonna leave?
Because he got what he wanted, and then he's
No,
gonna
what
leave.
about if he doesn't leave until? What about he doesn't leave until the cops arrives?
Who will come to your house and then who will come to your house? I'm just
I have a question.
They're gonna let them get
Are you going to let them take all your Gucci? Because I know you wear a lot of Gucci. Are you going to let them take all your Gucci?
Well, for that, not my Gucci. I might even come and be like, you know what? You can take the TV. Right? Just leave the Gucci. You can take the watch, but not the Gucci. I'm sorry. What I would have them do, I would even speak. If I have to hide in the closet, protect my phone, put them in the closet, whatnot, lock the door, and then have them take whatever they want, leave, and then that's it. But
I would still call the cops though.
Right.
You can. That's what I'm saying. You can call the cops after.
Yeah, after.
But calling the cops, like I've called the cops so many times, like different scenarios, and then the cops never. Sometimes they don't even show up.
I think at the end of the day, I think the mentality of calling the cops isn't to stop the action from happening.
Right.
I think it's a self-protective measure to make sure that it's on file, whether it's during.
I think it's knowing that someone is coming to help.
Exactly. Well, it's also.
But the thing is,
at least to have it.
But I know the police have a protocol, right?
Right.
When they come to your house, they're not just gonna like they will definitely ask the same questions someone asked, the operator asked on the call. How did this happen? This is a.
But if they show up while it's happening, what if
save your life?
What if the intruder comes to your house, right? Takes whatever he took and then
While
he leaves,
he's
right? Why? No, he left, right? And then you over here like panicking and oh my God, this is my Gucci's. What you know what I'm saying? And the cops come in, they'll probably think it's you because you black. And then they'll kill you. I'm just no, for real. It happens all the time when people get shot by mistake.
Because what you're saying is not 100% making sense, right? If someone breaks into your home and they steal whatever they want to steal and they leave and you call the police, you're gonna tell the operator that somebody just broke into my home. So they're gonna say that the person is not there.
I'm saying if you call the cops when the intruder comes to you.
But that's when you keep the operator on hold, because if you have the operator on hold and they dispatch that there's an active shooter or active burglary going on, they're gonna come ready, like guns out, everything ready to go, because they're assuming that somebody is in your home trying to shoot you or whatever the case may be. But if the operator already knows that it happened and the person left, they're gonna tell police this person just got robbed. At this point, police are just coming to take a report, right?
Just be considerate because sometimes we should think that this intruder. What? Sometimes this intruder is I'm saying this. I'm not saying that, but at the end of the day, I just feel like these people have families, right? They have families.
These people, the people that's robbing.
You know what I remembered, because when she said we talked about jungle justice, there's been cases of jungle justice where after the person has been murdered or burned, a story will come out like, oh my God, this person has been going through this, he has to do this to survive. Oh my God.
That's not does not matter.
There's no jobs in New York City.
So you say we should consider the intruder?
I'm not promoting.
I have a question.
You have it all wrong, sorry.
Right, so he's basically saying like we should consider the intruder first before ourselves.
No, that's what I'm saying. I said protect your family first.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You should not be coming to my house. I didn't invite you.
I think it's crazy that Milan would even say that we need to consider what the thief is going through, because it's kind of like I'm putting that person before my well-being, and that's really not realistic to me, and that's not the right thing to do. It's not normal. So I don't care what you're going through. You showed up to my house. That's like all bets are off at this point.
Considerate of me when you came into my house. I'm not gonna be considerate of you.
I wouldn't be calling the police to pick up the body. Come get this out of my house.
Come get this man. Come get this man.
Bring your brush, bring your bleach, and let's go. Let's get this paper done and paperwork done. But because of my personal experience and what I've went through with the police myself, and I'm not bashing all police. I have friends that are police. I don't think all police are bad. But through my experiences, if someone comes into my home, my first reaction just isn't to, oh my God, like, especially imagine if you're waking up out of your sleep. I don't even know where my phone is yet. My first reaction is, let me get something to protect myself.
Exactly.
You know what?
That's all it is for me.
Here's another thing too, in terms of like, I know you're speaking about police officers, speaking of police officers, I feel like people always never talk about how people attack authority figures. The fact that a lot of times people think,
that's a cop.
Hold on, that's not a cop out. I have a cousin that's a police officer in Haiti, and I'm scared for his life because they kill police officers.
I feel like
are you serious? Police officers get killed here all the time too.
That's true. But that
not all the time.
No,
there have been instances. Yes, but not all the time.
But when you are an authority figure, people will purposely try you.
I do feel like there's always like this one side of the story when it comes to police brutality. People never address the fact that people do attack authority figures. Personally, for me, when I was in college, I was a resident assistant. I was bullied. I was attacked several times for basically shutting down students' party. As if, first of all, they knew it's wrong. They do it every weekend. And when a student come to me as an RA and say, like, listen, I'm trying to study for this exam. Can you please go shut down this party? I'm trying to do my job and shut down the party. But why am I? But then they ended up harassing me. If I'm on the elevator, I remember one time I was in the elevator. This girl came, purposely stepped on me because there were like a bunch of them trying to corner me. So it's kind of like, people never talk about that part. People always make it seem like all these cops are out here killing people. They never talk about people that are actually attacking authority figures. The truth of the matter is we don't live in a perfect world. There are a lot of people committing crime, and you hear about it all the time in the news. So let's not forget that. Let's not forget the fact that there are people who are doing bad things. So if we don't have authority figures, then who's going to handle these things? I don't want to be out here fighting anybody. Like, I'm not trained for that.
But where's that coming from? That's backlash. That's people want to get police back for what they do to us all the time.
Seem like every police officers are bad people.
Nobody said every police officer. You the one saying the same thing.
But the ones that are bad are making the rest of them look bad. I think us distrust all of them.
But you know the sad part is,
you can't tell who's a bad police officer.
It's almost like saying the same stigma of how people consider black people in the negative sense. You know what I'm saying? Like the white people think all black people steal, or all black people are ghetto. I think it's very similar of how we view police officers, of that all police officers are not going to take your side. All police officers are going to automatically come for you for your black.
But you can't live
that. But why live your life like that? At the end of the day, like if you continuously live your life in these assumptions, then what they say, you make an ass out of you and me. You're making assumptions. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, if this is the life that we live in, doesn't mean that everybody is the same stigma. I mean, when it comes to talking about, police officers and all of them being bad, it's very similar to saying like all black people are stillers or all black people are ghetto. It kind of has that same tendency of, it's a stereotype, and I think we've got to be really careful of putting everybody in the same group. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you see the police officers like that, then you're assuming that every black person steals.
But they're definitely abusing of their power too. Like,
I'm not saying they don't. But you also just can't say, black people don't steal.
I don't know who said that.
Exactly. But
everybody steals.
And everybody abuses their power. Everybody abuses their power. So why play this game of
there's a friend of mine
there has to be boundaries at the end of the day. There has to be respect between authority figures and regular people.
When authority don't respect regular people, they're gonna fight back.
Yeah. So like I need to hear an instance. Like, what do you mean?
An instance being when I forgot who was it. I think it was the Eric Gardner case. After that happened,
wrongfully arrested.
He was wrongfully arrested, and after that happened, people were so mad at the police that two police officers were sitting in their patrol cars, sitting there minding their business, and people came up around them and shot both of them in their head. What was that? That's retaliation. But that's retaliation after constant stories about police shooting black people. I don't think that we should retaliate by killing cops. I've seen it. I've heard stories. I think we've all seen on the news that people are retaliating and harassing cops and killing them. I don't think that's the answer. I think what the answer is that there needs to be more police in neighborhoods that are from those areas, that understand those people. If we're in a predominantly black neighborhood and only white police are coming to help these people, they're not going to feel comfortable. Those white police don't know those black people. They're not going to understand them. They're not going to understand even their lingo, the way they talk. One person may say, a police may take that as a threat, but another police officer from that neighborhood would say, this is just how they talk in this area. So to resolve this issue, there needs to be more black police officers patrolling black neighborhoods that know, even if they're not black, there needs to be police officers from these neighborhoods, from this area that know the people. You're putting police that don't belong in this neighborhood, that don't know anything about these people. So the smallest thing makes them scared. They're acting out of fear. They're not as heroic as they come off to be. They're just going to work, clocking in, clocking out, and that's it.
Yes, I mean, if you look at the picture like this, the way they treat people in general as police, and that's why I understand the retaliation, is this an ego trip. Yeah. Like a lot of times they have so many scenarios of where they go to the full extreme of how they treat regular citizens, whether they're wrong or right, the citizens, but the way that they treat them is very inhumane. And I think that's I agree with black people.
I don't think they treat white people the same way they treat black people.
I'm saying in general.
But
yes,
I get your point.
Primarily black, but in general.
I have a friend of mine who said that the only way he can feel safe as a black man is to have the uniform. because he feel like he has. I don't know, like like he feel that he has more. He will feel more respected in a way.
If he's a police officer himself.
Yeah. But like in our example, it doesn't even matter at this point. Like as long as you're wearing the uniform,
people
I feel like
you're putting your life at risk already.
You're coming for black people.
I mean, in New York, for instance, we have like 38,000 police officers, and we have 19 million people plus tourists. See that ratio. How do you have to even commend them for the work they do every day. Right. I know in every field there are always bad apples. There shouldn't be in police. Yeah. It shouldn't be excused. But that's just how life is. We're humans first before anything, before any 6-month training for any police officer.
Maybe it's just the way I was raised to respect authority. I think they've been put in that position because they have gone through, background checks. They're believed to, be the best at doing that particular job. So, we should give them that, benefit of the doubt that they can actually do their jobs, when they're called upon to do that. I feel like it's, them putting on that uniform every day, going out to protect us, hopefully that's the intention. We should give them that that benefit of the doubt that yes, they're going to do their jobs when we call on them.
Let's call a spade a spade. Like, do we think that us as black people, do we act a specific way to make cops look at us a way, or is it on the other side of just police?
I say yes, but I have a good reason. I think we can be aggressive, but it's not. But not. Hold on, hear me out. I don't think we're aggressive. Like primarily, I think it's retaliation. It's like if you keep seeing images like this of them killing our people, we're gonna retaliate. We're gonna feel aggressive a little bit, but then now that makes us look like all black people are bad.
I felt like cops are already biased because I remember I was walking down the street, nothing, just because I had a hoodie on. I was walking and the cops came, 2. I was like, oh, your ID. I was like, what did I do? Your ID, sir. And I gave and they wait like 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, you're ready to go. I was scared.
I was scared.
To my house.
But that's my point. Exactly. You weren't aggressive.
Most people, just because I'm black. No. We said you were not aggressive. 9 times out of 10, as a black person, when you're stopped, the first thing you do is why you stop? No. Why? I mean, when the cops stop us, let's be honest. We can't do all of this extra and why are you stopping me? Because once we heighten the situation, they have no choice but to jump a higher level than us. And it really just creates a bigger issue as opposed to being calm and collected. And granted, yes, we are black, so we're gonna naturally come off aggressive. So if you give them more reason, I'm pretty sure they're gonna take it there.
But why turn up more? Right. If you act like that, it makes them turn up more, and now they're looking at you as a threat.
There's been videos on Facebook saying it.
Okay,
white people also do the same thing.
But white people have more privilege. You can't compare yourself to a person.
What I'm saying is, as a black person, is there something that we can do? So if we know they have,
we don't have to do anything because I'm trying.
Just by the color of our skin, they're already like this person. Like that's it. Has anyone here ever been in a car and you got pulled over by police?
Yeah.
Were you scared? Were you nervous?
Yes.
Thank you. Why were you scared?
I was really scared. I had to pull out my school ID because I'm thinking, okay, listen, let me show them my student ID first. Maybe they'll think, oh, he's a good kid.
And why do you have to do that?
Why do you have to pull out my school ID? Because I'm like, yo, when they see, because I'm like, you know how,
why? Because I'm black. Thank you. That's why. The fact that Milan feels the need to pull out his student ID when he gets pulled over first, like before you even want to pull out your license, you're like, let me pull out my student ID. Why are you doing that? You're doing that because you want to give this police officer the perception that you're not a bad black person. Like, oh, they're black, but they're in school, so they're okay. Or I'm black, but I'm a doctor, so I'm okay. So just having that, like, it's like you're forcing it. That's like you're a robot. You're forced to pretend that you're not black. So you want to show this police officer, oh, here's my school ID. I'm black, but I'm not dangerous. So let me show you my school ID first, or my military ID. It doesn't make any sense.
I have a driver's license, but I didn't think of taking that because I felt like, okay, boom, like let me just take out my school ID, just put it myself. I'm a student.
Smart though.
It's a student. So okay, then smart. So immediately I put on my student ID, Anytime I pull up, but so that is the first time I pull up when a cop, and you can see the reaction is a little bit different.
And the fact that we have to do that.
The fact
I'm not saying it's
not right, but we have to.
But we have to play game.
But you're saying it's not right. You're saying we have to play games. So you also can't sit there and also say at the same time, what is it that we're doing? We're not doing nothing.
No, I'm not saying we are.
I
asked the question,
we have to be diplomatic at the end of the day.
And I think 9 times out of 10, I know that we all have the experience of not to get aggressive, but a lot of the black community does not have that because they're already in that retaliation method.
I know that when I get pulled over by police, I don't even say anything. I don't want to give them any type of reason for them to be like, because they will lie and say you're aggressive. How many times have we seen police say you're resisting arrest as an excuse? They just want to have that audio to say that, oh, this person was doing that.
That's very true.
When we've seen that plenty of times, what were they doing? Nothing. But they made it up.
We've seen countless episodes of videos everywhere of white people being aggressive with police officers and them still being arrested, not a scratch on them. Active shooters who have left schools after killing tens of people and being arrested and being taken to Burger King and then being transported to jail. You mean to tell me somebody talking back is them being aggressive, is saying black people are too aggressive? I don't like that. We're not doing that. I think we've seen plenty of examples of when white people become aggressive with cops, they talk back, they basically exert their rights as Americans. And when black people do it, it's seen as aggressive, or all of a sudden the cops are in fear of their life and they want to climb or start using excessive force out of nowhere. When white people do it, it doesn't necessarily happen at the same rate. So that's why it's not right. And the fact that we know that this is, I guess we should probably do what we're supposed to in order to stay alive. But I also just want to make sure everybody knows, like, we don't have to do that.
No, but it depends on how, like, energetic and extra you are.
It doesn't have anything to do with energy.
I'm not saying black people are too aggressive. I'm saying don't let yourself.
Yes.
No, I said don't let yourself get to that. Just like Regis said earlier, don't let yourself get to the aggression because they're gonna look at you as dangerous, as a threat. Now, what was already a problem is now 10x.
And use it against you, which they have always done.
So it sucks.
He should have been stopped.
It really sucks, but we have to like be the bigger person almost and like be so calm. If the cops pull me over or stop me in the street, I'm sucking it up. I'm doing whatever they say. I'm not too big to, I mean, it's my life. It's my life on the line. You know, with everything that you see in the news, black people getting killed for just looking at the cop wrong. So if I need to, it sucks, but like as black people, we literally have to like, we have to do that. We have to kind of bring ourselves down and like degrade ourselves and just like do whatever they say.
I understand where you're coming from. That you're saying that we should be calm and we shouldn't be the aggressor, because once we start, you know, being aggressive, that's gonna take it from 0 to 100. I get that, but it's not like that across the board, because there's instances where I could be sitting here not doing anything, a cop will say, "You, let's go," and there could be instances where I am lashing out, because if when white people are lashing out, their first reaction, let's tase them. But when a black person is lashing out, shoot them. Why you can't tase a black person besides shooting them?
And I don't disagree with you. We know this. We know that they're biased. But do you really think it's smart to turn up and make it worse?
It's not about whether or not it's smart. My first reaction is not going to be to turn up. But you just said we know this. We know that they're biased. Why do I have to accept that they're biased?
But it's the reality right now.
So
it's the reality. Until it changes, we can't just sit up here and
so back to the original question, then it should be on the police side.
If it's my life on the line, I'm sucking it up and I'll be the bigger person. And I'll sit there and do what you want me to do until we get to the
Especially if you're not guilty.
And if you suck it up and you sit there and you do what you're supposed to do, and they slap you, they punch you, they put cuffs on you, what difference did it make?
Nothing.
What difference did it make? Because I was calm, I was quiet, and they still roughed me up. They still put handcuffs on
cell phone, and I'm getting a settlement.
Right.
But I'm not gonna turn up because now they're gonna shoot me. I'd rather be punched than be shot. You know what I'm saying?
Even if you don't do nothing, they still have the opportunity to shoot you. I did absolutely nothing, and they put these cuffs so tight on me that it was cutting my wrist. And I was not aggressive at all. And so it does not matter.
I'm really, really sorry you had to go through that.
Thank you.
You know, it's really horrific to hear something like that. Because I feel like there are laws that guide, you know, use of force by the police. I know it's part of, you know, they have to, if they feel they're being attacked, they have to, you know, protect themselves too. But I do not, you know, I don't think in that instance you were, you know, aggressive to them in any way. So I really do not know why that happened. But generally, you know, I feel like they have to reform some laws in the police. You know, because they're there to serve us. I know, yeah, we shouldn't be, they need more training. We shouldn't be aggressive. You know, we should bring out our IDs once we see them. It's part of what we're being taught, you know, we have to respect authority. So if they ask us questions, we should answer. If we have our, you know, all our papers right, we should give it to them. Let them do what they have to do. You, on your own part, you know, you were not aggressive to them. So if they, you know, beat you or punch you, it's on them. And hopefully someone is recording, like you pointed out. Everyone has phones these days, you know, there's so many things. So we hope that.
Especially with cops, that's the first thing they do is pull out the phone.
Yeah, and they have body cameras now. Thank you. They have body cameras now. They have, you know, so they should make all these records public. So it's up to us now to, you know, write notes, write petitions to, you know, state legislators.
And there are organizations fighting for that right now. So we can't just say like, well, we need to do this. There are organizations fighting for that, but at the end of the day, these organizations are here to fight for our freedom and justices, but they're not here to fight any other things. Like if somebody stole your credit card or your identity, you're not gonna call them. Or let me call Black Lives Matter. No, you're gonna call the police. You're gonna call the detective or somebody to help you figure out who stole your identity. So we all have to work together. So at the end of the day, like I said, there has to be boundaries. And yes, unfortunately, we're Black people. We have to be diplomatic. We can't always be, let me turn up, because we already know how that's gonna end up. So we already seen enough happen already. We already seen enough Black people get killed.
You know, honestly, like we've got to live in what our current state is. You know, like yes, we know we are Black. Yes, we know that we're already looked down upon and that we're already automatically aggressive. So it's like, honestly, in that scenario, how do we make our lives better? You know what I'm saying? Moving forward. Yes, we know that it's unfair. Life is unfair. So it's like, how do we move forward to make the best life as possible for us? And dealing with higher authority like police officers, then yeah, if I have to suck it up and, you know, say yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? And be that yes, sir. Then that's what I'm gonna do, because I want to live tomorrow.
But naturally, Black people are already, like, most of us are turned already. Like we like that. Like example, like look at us. Like, I'm gonna use an example. You always turn. So they should also understand that. They should understand that Black people, or majority of Black people, are usually turned. Naturally, Black people, we like 100 all the time. Like I don't think it's aggression, or you know, it's just a Black thing. If you're in the Black community or Hispanic community, for example, you see how they talk. That's the same way sometimes Black people talk. Even in the African community, we didn't talk, we really loud. So it might not be us being aggressive towards them. It's just how we talk, and they have to be trained to understand, like, okay, this is how these people move. So let's just, even when you talk to them nicely, it'll still be an ass to you. So I don't know what other way we can, you know, be nice. I don't know.
A neighborhood that has a lot of minorities, they really should get to know. I think a lot of the robbery situation, if they actually knew the people that lived in the neighborhood, they would
and that's a big
arrest
issue.
The right people.
They're placing the wrong police officers in the wrong places.
It's because if that area does not have people that want to be a cop, then they have to put somebody else in that area. So, you know, maybe there should be more community representation within being a police officer, and that would change a few things.
I have an idea. I think police officers or authority figures should work with activists, because I think that could actually help the community better.
And they can be put in situations
so
they can see what it really looks like.
We can have ideas, you know, about what cops should do, but at the end of the day, I feel like we just live in a society where white people use Black people to kind of build their foundation, and I felt like just because it's just the way it is, I felt like Black people will never feel at ease in the United States. That's how I felt. That's what it is.
And you think there's no solution to that?
No,
like, it's just
unless if you go back to Africa, there's a place where you'll be welcome.
Yeah, I think that the best thing if you really want to be valued as a human being and
if you're complaining about how bad the United States is treating you, why don't you just go back? I felt like there's not a perfect world. You go to Africa, you have to deal with, their realities where, they kind of have a primitive ways of thinking too. You have to take that into consideration. You stay here, you are treated unfairly. So you can't really win everywhere. The best thing to do is just to stay in the place and make your own world. And that's what it is. If you feel like you're not really welcomed here in the United States, just go back home. That's it.
So he's basically saying we should leave the land because we're black. Is that what you're saying? Because white racists are saying we should go back to Africa. Why should we go back to Africa?
Even the laws that even the United States has do not even include black people.
No. So
just to tell you,
it does not. I'm not going back to Africa. I worked hard. Why would you sound like that?
Many people were not even born in Africa. They do not have any, like they recognize their roots, but they have no.
Do you want to be treated equally?
Yes.
You could not be treated equally in your own country.
I know. There is no police. Like I said, we don't have 911 in other countries.
There's no perfect world. That's the point I'm trying to say.
But at least a little better chance here. Like at least we have.
Don't complain.
A lot of countries don't have that resource. So what are you talking about?
I hear y'all talking about police training, thinking that police training is going to help police officers know how to deal with minorities more, but I honestly don't think so. No, that you could be in training for 2 years. That's not going to change your heart to where if you see a black person, you're afraid and you're going to kill them. But no amount of police training is going to change a racist heart. This has been ingrained in them since they were children. It was probably taught to them from their parents. They're already on edge when they enter that community. They don't care if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, or if you're a black boy. They're going to shoot you. No amount of training, I don't believe any amount of training can actually change a racist heart. If you were born in a racist home, you feel that black people, or you're afraid of black people, because that's really what it is anyway. If you're afraid of black people and you become a police officer and you're in a white neighborhood and you're being nice to all of the white people within the neighborhood, and then you go to a black neighborhood and you're afraid, if they raise their hand and all of a sudden you're afraid and you pull your gun, that's still racism at the end of the day, because you wouldn't do that to someone else if you were working in a white neighborhood. So
don't you think people can change? Don't you think with understanding and more reorientation,
no.
You don't think people can change?
You don't think
when you racist,
when
you're
it
not
comes to
changing your mind?
racism, I don't think that racists can change, because I feel like that's something that
is ingrained.
They were from when they were young.
But they learned it. No one is born a racist.
You cannot learn to be racist. No, you cannot.
You can relearn something. There's so many.
That's a hard one, because I do want to believe in like humanity so much to the point of there is hope that someone could change, like in a perfect world. But when you really think about it, when it's ingrained to you as a little kid, it's kind of like. It's like almost saying like I don't eat onions, and that's from a little kid.
God.
No, think about it.
Here's the thing,
and as much as people can be like, oh, try it, it tastes good. Your taste buds gonna change. It's something that's in your mind that you just know.
But they shouldn't be in the police academy.
But we don't know. But look at how many governors right now are coming out with all these old pictures of blackface. From when they were young, and they're trying to say, oh well, why are they all stepping down? Because you cannot govern a diverse.
Yeah,
it's sad. You want to believe it. You want to, but
I just feel like if you were raised in a racist home, right, and then you, let's say, move and live on campus, you have black roommates, and you became friend, you learn about them. So you mean to tell me I'm still gonna think when my mom is talking bad about black people? No, I'm
but they weren't racist though.
No, I'm saying if you were raised in a racist home.
But it doesn't. I will have to like interject on that. I don't think that matters, because there's people that are raised with rapists. There's people that are raised with abusive parents. There's people that are raised with drunks, and they don't turn out to be that.
But that's what I'm saying.
But if you are though racist from young, if you are, because there are teenagers that are racist. I don't think that's changing.
No, that's what she's saying. It could change if you move from that environment to a different environment where you have like
you meet people from different backgrounds.
You learn. You learn.
I think if you're already racist, you racist.
That blue code. That's just like when a white officer shoots you and a black officer standing there. They're not going to go and report him and say that he did anything wrong, because they got to protect their job, because they got to go and pay their bills at the end of the day. So whether they're racist or not, it's like we have to. No amount of training is going to get past racism, but then we also have to get past that like code blue as well.
I have hope. I feel like hopefully police officers, if they know their partner is being racist, they'll say something about it, or at least pull them to the side or something.
Or handle the situation.
No, you don't?
Yeah, I think this is a very, very good discussion that we had today. And I feel like everyone should be having conversations like this regularly because we need, in our communities for people to be more aware, of how to deal with law enforcement, how to deal with, people in authority. Thank you all so much for, your wonderful contributions. I hope people learned something today.
Yes. Yeah. Milan likes Gucci.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for watching, and if you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.
I don't think Tina can kill anything. I think like she just watches a lot of movies, and in her head, she thinks, oh, it's that easy. It's just, if in a situation, I don't want to say it, but like, some people are too loud. Like, especially the loud ones are the weak, the ones that are really, really weak. And even with the killing, I'm like, no, you're just saying it. There's no point of killing an intruder. And I don't think she can even do that.